Hello and welcome to 3-Minute Game Reviews, where we do game reviews without the fluff. More than just a game, EVE Online is an MMO sandbox that deals in experiences and possibilities where you decide the rules, alongside thousands of other players who live, work and fight on a single shared server in a dark, unforgiving universe called New Eden. It has open world PvP, where nowhere is truly safe, stealing, backstabbing and espionage are part of the game, and when your ship explodes, the ship itself and everything on it is lost forever. You fly your ship with the mouse clicks and keyboard shortcuts instead of a gamepad or flight stick, and the learning curve is notoriously steep, but also very rewarding once you get the hang of it. Death comes often, and that's why most pilots in EVE live by a simple rule: if you can't afford to replace it, don't fly it. If you've never played EVE before, then you're likely going to get your mind blown by just how deep this game is, and if you're a long-standing veteran that's thinking of making a comeback, you'll still find the same excellent experience that existed 5, 10 and even 15 years ago, but there's definitely something to be said about the direction the game's been taken over the last few years, with more focus seemingly being put into making bright pink ship skins, login rewards and daily quests to create FOMO, instead of further developing the tools the players can use to create new content by themselves. Out of the thousands of different ships that you can fly, the thousands of solar systems you can visit, or the thousands more hidden wormhole systems waiting to be scanned down and explored, what you do, where you go and how you do it is entirely up to you, and after a brief initial tutorial and some fairly standard career missions to get you going with some simple stuff, you're basically set free into the world with no plan and no guidance. For some people, that sense of freedom is absolutely incredible, but for others, it can feel a bit overwhelming. Unlike other MMOs, EVE doesn't hold your hand and show you where to go. It doesn't tell you who to talk to or what to do. Instead, it just gives you the tools you need to basically live your second life in space, and leaves the storytelling and the world building up to your own imagination. Ore mining, gas mining, ice mining, trading and hauling, running a corp, PvP, manufacturing, exploration, and hacking rare relic sites are just a tiny fraction of the sheer amount of content that's available in this game, each of them with deep, detailed mechanics that you can sink your teeth into, and all complemented by thousands of some of the best designed ships of any sci-fi universe. Even after playing it for years, you'll still find yourself running into new stuff and seeing new things that you haven't tried before. The visuals and the UI have been kept up to date with modern expectations, and the population is still very much alive today, with a good mix of new and old players. Character progression takes place passively using a time-based skill system, meaning each ship and module requires certain skills to use, and each of those skills takes X amount of time to train, whether you're logged in or not. But the downside is that some skills take weeks or even months to train, which can feel a bit boring, especially when you're new with only a few skills to speak of. And while we're talking about skill training, let's talk about Plex, because Plex allows you to directly trade real-life money to in-game money, directly from the developers themselves. The money can then be used to buy skill injectors in-game, which help you skip weeks of training at a time, which means if you spend enough money, you can get leaps and bounds ahead of other people who just decide to pay the monthly subscription and play the game normally. But that's not as scary as it might initially seem. Sure, in a straight fight between two evenly capable players where one has bought skill points and the other one hasn't, the person with more combat skills is probably going to win. But if you're playing EVE looking for fair fights, then you're doing it wrong. This game isn't meant to be played solo. See, EVE is a social game that rewards doing things with other players in player-ran guilds called corporations. If you're going to succeed and get the most out of it, then you need to join a player corp and get involved in whatever it is they're up to at the time. And remember not to take it too seriously. Don't let losing a ship ruin your day, and remember to rate your time spent in-game in fun rather than ISK per hour. EVE really is a sandbox like no other, and it's without doubt a game that everyone needs to try at least once, but if you do decide to give it a go, then sign up using our affiliate link in the video description below to get ahead of the game with 1 million free skill points to help you get started in the best way possible. We're 3-Minute Game Reviews, and this was our review of EVE Online in about 3 minutes. Bye!